Hello, redeemed, righteous family. It is great to be back. Today, I just want to share something that's really dear to my heart, and I think it will resonate with a lot of people considering everything that we are going through currently. So because of COVID-19, many people have lost their jobs, been made redundant. Some people have even been furloughed. So in the UK, what that means is people are having to take indefinite leave and are being paid 80%, and it will go down to 60% from August. And I just really want to share a time in my life where God really came through for me, and I was actually really challenged to understand what it actually means for God to be a provider. And that's me sharing a time where I was unemployed for 6 months. So during that time of when I was unemployed, 6 months at the time seemed like a very, very, very long time. But looking back, actually, it wasn't that much of a long time. But when you are going through that, you don't see it that way because you're so down, you've got things to do, you've got obligations. And actually during that time, it was actually a time where I had bridesmaid duties, and as some of you can understand, bridesmaid duties also comes with a lot of money as well. So having to take on that expense and not working was also very challenging and difficult. And during that time, I was very, I was whinging and moaning and complaining to God because, everyone who doesn't want to be working. And during one of the times, God just told me that Jessica, I need you to count your blessings and name them one by one. And that didn't really make sense to me. But then upon reflection, I realized that all my prayers had just become me asking God, rather than being thankful for the fact that I had a roof over my head, being thankful that I had a support system from my family and my friends, being thankful that I had good health. I didn't have a job, but there's so many other things that I did have, and God wanted me to be able to remember those things and then have the attitude of gratefulness. So when I started that, it wasn't too long actually, and then I got a call back from an application I did that they were interested and they would want to have an interview with me. And I was actually very excited because at the time it was with an organisation that I thought in my heart was perfect for me. So I went for the interview, did the group interview, did a written task. So I was just waiting to kind of hear from them. And I remember having a dream that I didn't get the job, and I'm just like, no, this is the devil, and I reject it. I do have to get this job. So I kind of ignored that dream. And then not too long after having that dream, I got an email saying that I was not successful. So I was really, really down because I just thought this was the perfect job. And bearing in mind, it had been really quiet up until then. So this opportunity came with so much hope. And I just thought I was going to get the job. And the interview, to me, it seemed like it went well. The interviewers were really good. I asked questions at the end, and I just thought it went well, but I was wrong. So then I emailed them to kind of get feedback, because I think it's really important when you go for interviews to get feedback, regardless of the outcome, whether you get the job or not. It's always good to get feedback, just so you can work on yourself. So I tried to get feedback to no avail. They didn't give me feedback till this day. They haven't given me feedback. I checked in my junk as well to give them a benefit of the doubt, but they didn't get back to me. But it's all good. So after that time, I was just like, God, you know what? I'm going to take a break from job hunting, because job hunting is a job in itself. Those of you who are going through it, I feel you, girl. It's not easy. I feel you, redeemed, righteous family. I actually really get it. So I wanted to take a break from it because I was just like, God, this was the perfect job. Why have you shut this door? Why did you not allow me to get this job? Well, God is wise, and He has all the information, and a lot of the times we don't see that. So then after, I went back to God in prayer, and I was just really hurt, trying to get over this rejection and trying to move on, to bounce back. And I was just like, God, you know what? I think I want to take a break from applying to jobs. And then again, God being God and having the sense of humour that He has, I heard Him saying clearly to me that, Jessica, I'm going to give you options. So I just need you to kind of hang on. I'm going to give you options. And I was like, God, I haven't even had one. Like, the one interview that I had, I didn't get it. So how am I going to go from having no options to having options? That just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't sound logical. So I was very dismissive of that word that came, and I carried on applying. I saw this ad that I was very interested in the role. I applied, and I didn't think anything of it, because at this point I was just like, I didn't get my dream job, so nothing else will be as good. So I applied. they called me back and said they were interested in interviewing me. So I was happy that, they sent me the details of the interview. And then I saw that there was also going to be a written task, and I was like, oh my God have mercy. Like, I already went for this interview, I did the written task and I didn't get it. So probably it means that I'm probably not going to get this job as well, because there's a written task. So I went for the interview, had 2 interviews with 2 different panels, and then had a written task. So then I didn't think anything of it. I said my pleasantries, said goodbye, and was coming to go underground. So then I saw my phone, because I have my email on my phone, and I'll get the email up there just for you to read, just for you to see how God can really come through and how God can really turn things around and how God does things that it's just so mind-boggling. So then I just got an email. So in my email, I opened up the email, and it was like 3 paragraphs. It will go up for you to see. And even before I had read it, I was just like, oh my gosh, this employer is a bit annoying. They've probably because it's such a long email, they're probably telling me that I didn't get it and probably giving me feedback. So let me just get ready to hear that line of, unfortunately, sorry, you didn't get the role on this occasion. So I started reading, and then my interviewer was just saying how amazing I was, how they really wanted me, and it was a unanimous decision that they wanted me to take up the role. And I was just like, oh wow, okay, like, God, are you serious? Like, I've never had that experience of going for an interview and in less than an hour the interviewer is calling you back to just let you know you've got the role. So I was like, okay, wow, like, this is crazy. This can only be God. Because looking back, my interview conduct at that interview and the other role that I didn't get wasn't different at all. But that's the difference between favor. When God's favor goes ahead of you, people just like you and just take a liking to you. And that's my prayer for you. As God did it for me, He will also do it for you. So bearing in mind, I was standing at the front of the tube station, and I was just taken aback. So I jumped on the tube, and when I came out of the tube, I got another email, and this was from the other organisation that I had applied to, and they were like, oh, they're calling me for an interview. And I was like, God, this is actually getting crazy. And then I remembered what God said to me, I'm going to give you options. And it's actually funny, because the second organisation that got in touch with me was an organisation that I had applied for in 2016 when I graduated. And obviously I didn't get the job in 2016. So now that they wanted to interview me, I was like, oh wow, like, this is amazing. And then it clicked that God is so faithful to His word. So I came home and I was like, I'm so torn. I've got a job offer, and I also have another interview, and I really like the organisation that are about to give me the second interview. I really like this organisation. I've wanted to work for them since 2016. So I've always really, really wanted to work there. And then my sister was like, do you know what? Just be honest. Don't say anything to the first organisation that have given you an offer. Just say to them that you'll get back to them soon, and you just need to think it through, and just go for the interview. And when you go for the interview, disclose that you've got another offer, so they need to kind of get back to you as soon as possible. So I went for the interview, did my research. One thing that really helped, I think it's one tip that really helped me, is each time you're going for an interview, find out as much as you can about the organisation you're going to work for. Find out about their vision, their mission, their aims, their history, their purpose. All of that is really, really important. That's something that helped me in the interview. Another thing that really helped me is using the STAR approach. So when you think of a specific situation for like the competency questions, then you think of a specific task, then you think of the action you took, and then you think of the result. That structure is actually really solid for competency-based questions. So I'd recommend you using that. And also just watching YouTube for like different interview tips and stuff like that. That really, really helped me prepare for the interview. So I went for the interview, and at the end of the interview, I said to the interviewers, just to let you know, I have another offer from another organisation. I didn't mention the organisation's name. I just said I have another opportunity from another organisation, so I would need you to get back to me as soon as possible. They explained to me that they still had a lot of candidates to interview, and I just said that, yeah, but you have to get back to me because I have a deadline. Within 2 days, they got back to me as well, and my current manager, actually, he called me. I've kind of given it away. I took the second role. So my current manager, he called me and he was like, oh, Jessica, we would love to take you on. And then he said the amount that they were willing to pay me. And I said, okay, that's interesting that you say that. But actually, the other organisation that I have an offer from are going to give me this amount. So I'm not going to be able to take the amount that you're saying. So then after we actually started to negotiate pay. And I was just like, God, wow, you're really coming through. I never thought I'd be negotiating pay. And then after we settled on that, and he offered a higher thing, and I went with them. The point I'm trying to make is God is so faithful, and a lot of the times God's promises seem so far off, but it's not far off. God has his own way of doing his thing and in his own time. And I just want you to be encouraged that God will come through for you in the way that God came through for me. It is my prayer that God, who gave me options, will also give you options, even during a time where so many people are being made redundant, so many people are losing their jobs, so many people are being furloughed. We have security, and our security is not found in the fact that we're employed, but our security is because of God's favor that gives us employment. That's just one of the ways in which God can bless us. So if you are job hunting, just keep at it. Redeemed Righteous Family, stick at it. If you're job hunting, God will come through for you, and those testimonies will come flying by. And once those testimonies come, it would be lovely to get some comments, just sharing your testimony. God's got your back, and just keep on doing what you're doing, and just hold on to the promises that God has said concerning you. Be blessed, Redeemed Righteous Family. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and share this with anyone that you feel like needs to hear this at this time. We will definitely and certainly get through it. God bless you. Bye.